But today I just want to be here. I'm just real quick here. Going to give you this quick little note. I am at the place where I help out with horses. And with a horse, they can be unpredictable. They can startle at a bird or a puddle or the hose on the ground. And so I always have to be ready for what they're going to do. But it's not as much what they're going to do, but more about what am I going to do when this happens. I have to expect it to happen, and then I have to know what to do when it's going to happen. There are some horses that I handle that they start turning toward me, or they want to go to the grass, or they just want to goof around, or they just want to stop. And usually what I can do is I'm thinking ahead about, okay, when this happens, this is what I'm going to do. When this happens, this is what I'm going to do. And a lot of times I end up turning them in a circle. And they don't know what to expect, because I just pivot. I pivot. And I always am focusing on, what am I going to do in response? How will I handle this particular situation? What's under my control? And what's under my control is the lead rope and the halter that they wear. And I can sense that they're going to make a move of some sort. So that's the whole point I want to make today, is instead of looking at, well, they're doing this and they did this and they're not doing this, and looking at their actions and inactions, look to see what you have control over. What can you do? Instead of saying, what isn't working? I've tried this and this and this and this. Look to say, what can I do? What can I do for my family, in my immediate household, for my neighborhood, for my civic group, for my church group? What can I do that's not dependent on everybody else? What can I do? What do I have control over? And start taking control over the things you do have control over. You have control over a sink of dirty dishes. You have control over a lawn that needs cutting. There are so many other things that you have control over. You have control over drawers that are stuffed, or closets that need to be rearranged, or painting something that maybe you're tired of your living room walls and you've always wanted to change the color. You have control over that. You have control over what you wear. You have control over your eating habits. You have control over what time you go to bed. Maybe you don't have a great sleep schedule, or maybe you can't sleep well. I didn't sleep well last night. I was up till about 12 because my brain just wouldn't turn off. But I do get into bed by a certain time every night. Doesn't mean I fall asleep right away, but that's something I have control over. So no matter what else is going on around you, and it's something you can practice even without even your estranged kids. It can be practiced in line at the grocery store or at the bank. It can be practiced in traffic. Things you don't have control over. Start looking to see what you do have control over. If you're stuck in traffic, maybe you have a podcast you're ready to listen to, or some great music that is from the good old days, whatever your good old days are. Like mine are the 80s. But again, instead of focusing on what they are not doing and what they should be doing and what they did do and what they are saying and what they aren't saying and what they should be saying, focus on what you have control over. Okay? Love you guys, and I will chat at you later.